what should do more really mean? Adhikamastu. What is it that we must do more? And it got me thinking, actually, was meditating about it, was ruminating about it. And when I was thinking, do more is something which actually is a part of each and everything of our lives. In terms of if we can do that incremental more in everything that we do, how can we actually make a difference, not only to ourselves, but also to the world? So we were discussing earlier, there's a lot of talk about Atmanirbharta. What is Atmanirbharta? About Atmanirbharta essentially, of course, it's a very misunderstood thought. Atmanirbharta essentially means doing more to yourself so that you actually become a net exporter to the world. And not just an exporter in terms of physical manufacturing, an exporter of ideas, an exporter of thought, an exporter of vision. So in a way, what our philosophy teaches you is that Atmanirbharta actually means when you are self-sufficient, when you are strong internally, when you are I would say, when you actually can radiate that energy out, that's when you actually can do more for most of the world and for everyone around you. And I think that's something which really gets, that's something which one should focus on going forward. They spoke about my book. So just during the lockdown, I'm from Mumbai, my parents were in Delhi. I was stuck, and again, I could have spent 2 months watching Netflix or spending it chatting with friends, but I always thought, what can I do that can make a difference? What can I do that is more? Because when we are locked up in an apartment, as the way I was in Mumbai, unable to leave, there is not much that you can do. But I thought, let me make the best use of my time. I think let me see how best what I can do with this time. And I have been a writer for a long time. I've written in the past for the HuffPost. I've written for the Quint. And at this time I decided, why not use this opportunity? Because I did lead a very busy life with work, running my asset management and financial services business. So I thought, let me do something more. Let me do something which can actually be, which I've always wanted to do but never had the luxury. So suddenly from never having time, I had too much time and being all alone. I didn't even have anyone else in the house with me. So I began writing my book, and I'm happy to note that it got published late last year, and we'll actually officially be launching it tomorrow at the Jaipur Lit Fest, and it's called The Rock Babas and Other Stories. It's a book of 9 short stories, and each short story, ironically, is about each and every character who wants to transform himself or herself by doing something more. So I think when we were just discussing just before coming to speak, I said I think it's very fitting and opportune that I'm speaking here today about doing something more, or adhikamastu, because of the fact that the book itself speaks quite a bit about it. And for example, I think we speak a lot about reincarnation. We speak that what could happen to us once we no longer walk in this body or live in this, our soul no longer resides here. But I think what is also important is that we can be reincarnated many times in this life itself. We can constantly keep adapting ourselves, we can constantly keep evolving, and we can constantly keep reincarnating. And all of that can happen by making a change and by doing more. Now, what are the relevant themes to ourselves in our world today? I think one very important and relevant theme that we should speak more about is climate change and sustainability. I think one thing which has been very true about our culture is that we've always lived sustainably and in peace with the environment that's around us. Now, whether that means in terms of how much we pollute, how much we consume, how we consume, and unfortunately somewhere around the way, the world has lost that focus on living sustainably. And if you see the way the ancient people, Native Americans lived in the US, the old tribes lived in Africa or throughout Africa, and even our people even continue to live in, say, the Sentinelese in Nicobar, or some of the, our tribes and people in the northeast of our country as well as at the center of our country. I think living in peace with nature is something which came naturally to us as human beings, and somewhere down the line we lost it. So I think one important element of doing more is for us to now start giving back to nature and doing more. Living more sustainably, consuming intelligently, and also focusing on our carbon footprint, the way we consume, the amount of water we use, and how we are, living in terms of our environment, and to realize that we humans are only one of the many species that live on this great planet of us. We sometimes think that this world is ours. It's not. We are just one of the many, many, many species who live here, and we are also guests the same way the rest of them are. So I think sustainability is a very important theme in terms of what we can do more. Secondly, I feel that another very important element is actually doing more for ourselves. I think, unfortunately, of maybe the entire, our existence is always external. I always say that the only time we look inwards is when we close our eyes to sleep. We never look inwards actually when we are in our waking hours to look deeper within ourselves and to introspect in terms of what are we doing? Are we doing something correct? Could we do it better? Could we do it differently? And I think that's another element where if we can start looking inwards more than always looking outwards and searching for external gratification, we could also actually do more towards ourselves. We could, and that's the greatest gift that we can give us, and by definition, give back to society, coming back to what I was speaking about Atmanirbharta earlier. I think the third element of doing more is actually making that incremental difference to the ones who are not as fortunate as we are. Now, this doesn't only mean people who are, people who may not be financially as fortunate, but there are people who are all, of course, that is a very important element wherein we can do more through our institutions and, through both charitable as well as through, by giving our time. But also in terms of doing more for people who need access to education, people who need access to, say, well-being, people needed access to care. And I think what Sir is doing in Gujarat is a phenomenal example of that, as to how we can actually do more by, giving people the ability to, I think what people need is a platform. I think very often I think in India, the amount of talent we have, I spoke last week and I said that I think the cricket team is a great example of how today, earlier the cricketers used to come from Shivaji Park in Bombay. 9 out of 11 players used to all be from South Bombay. Today, if you see the young guys, and especially I think the game which we had, or one in Australia is a great example of it. You had people coming from Ennore, you had people coming from small towns of Tamil Nadu, Northeast, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Kerala. So I think the fantastic thing is that people from all around the country today are coming and excelling at a global level. Why? Because they have a platform. So what we need to do is, irrespective of backgrounds, gender, race, religion, disability or ability, I think we need to give people a platform. And as agents of change, everyone sitting in this room or whoever's listening in, I think as agents of change, if we can make that incremental ability to give people a platform, I think we would have not only made a change to our own life, but also made a change to the lives of so many people, which ultimately contributes to what societal change can be. And that's what, in a way, my book speaks about. Each story in my book speaks about that. One of the stories called Rock Babas and Other Stories. And the title story, The Rock Babas, is about a Swiss hotelier who is a very successful person, again, external success, but someone who is very strongly entrenched in his own culture, someone who doesn't actually quite understand the culture of other areas, and he's also an expert mountaineer, one of the best mountaineers you could find. So when he's climbing in the Himalayas, on Kanchenjunga, goes through Nepal, goes through and you can see it in the way he interacts with the native people of that area, not quite appreciating that culture. But while he's on this climb, he gets caught in an avalanche, and everything goes blank, and he's presumed dead. But of course he's not. He wakes up in an ashram of the secretive Rock Babas, who are, of course this is fiction, so who are a bunch of rock music playing holy monks who use music to connect with the higher reality of life, who some of us may call God. And of course the book is about his transformation, his metamorphosis, his ability, his change with when he spends time with these Rock Babas. Of course I would not want to spoil it for you. I do hope you guys can read or pick up a copy. There's one downstairs as well. But I think that is something which is important for all of us. Not everyone will be waking up one day in the home of the fictional Rock Babas, right? For us, that big trigger has to be ourselves. We ourselves have to be that trigger which can actually make us start changing, start transforming and doing more. And I think it's the small things. I think what COVID has also taught me is that I think it's the small things that make the greatest difference. I think, for example, healthcare in our country, something which is very scary, and is that our infant mortality rate in India, which is the number of children who die within the first, a number of live births who die within the first year of being born, is 2.99%. So given our birth rate in India, given our percentage of people who were born last year, this is 2019 figures, 8 lakh babies died in India in 2020. To put that in perspective, our official death rate from COVID is 1,50,000. So 800,000 people babies, died within the first year of their birth. So I think if COVID has taught me something, it's of course the philosophical element of it, that life is short, that one needs to do more, one needs to make a change and not just seek external change or external gratification, but also internal. But I think if a small element that we can all take from this is that healthcare is such an important element, and we should not forget about it once COVID is done. We should not say a year later that, oh, COVID is finished, we can move on. But this problems of healthcare in India, and honestly, because we are 1/6 of the world, if you solve the problems in India, you solve the problems for almost 1/6 of the world. For 15% of the world, you actually end up solving them. So if we can incrementally, all of us, do more on healthcare, do more on education, do more on on something as simple as access to platforms for people for development, the amount of change we will be making will be so humongous that actually you will see a quantum difference in the quality of life of people. And I think that could be the greatest thing we could give back as human beings in our short time on this earth. So I think it's a very powerful theme. I think doing more, being more is a very important thing. I think for me personally, while book was one element of it, I also volunteer with my a charitable institution run by my mother called Manav Sadhan Vikas Sastha. We do a lot of work on skill training and skill development with a focus on women, primarily in the Konkan region of Maharashtra, where we come from. And we've trained over 100,000 women, made them self-employable. And again, I think that's coming back to the theme which I was speaking about, giving a platform. I think once you can give these people a platform, you'll be surprised, I think, the quality of the people we have in our country. Men, women, young kids, the confidence that is, the desire, the hunger that there is within India to go and actually create something, build something. And I have actually, to be honest, I travel a lot. I've never seen that in any other country. To overcome I would say, overcome adversity. And adversity is at every corner in India. You never know when you leave your house in India, how you're going to get back, because there is a lot of adversity that each person faces. I think to overcome that adversity and to actually make something of yourself is so phenomenal. And then when you see women's self-help groups, you see, people who actually want to create something and be leaders in their field. I think that is something which is a very, very rare and unique thing that you see in our country. So when sometimes when you read the headlines, I worry a lot about India. But when I go to the villages and towns of India and meet the actual people, I think that I should not worry at all, because the amount of the energy and the willpower of our people to overcome adversity and create something is so humongous. So all that we need to do is give them a platform. All that we need to do is we need to give them an opportunity. And it doesn't matter if they speak English or Hindi or what. I think what is important is the language of hard work and success. Actually, hard work and success speaks no language. I think that transcends people across, paradigms. And I think this is, and I'm very happy that we are today not only inviting successful females, successful men, people who are differently abled, people who are, successful in each and every one of their fields, because I think these people are inspirations for the world. Because I personally believe the only limiting factor for us to achieve success and make a difference is our own willpower and sometimes our own lethargy. Once we overcome that, the sky is the limit. So I think what's important is doing more. Doing more doesn't mean doing a lot. It could actually mean doing slightly more than what you did yesterday, and maybe slightly more the day after. And the beautiful thing with the power of compounding, which Einstein called one of the wonders of nature, is that when you look back a year later, you would have achieved so much. I remember once I'm not a climber by any, I actually don't like climbing at all. But I remember once when I was climbing a mountain, a hill rather, not a mountain. I was very scared. How will I manage to climb all this? And I kept climbing and I kept climbing and I kept climbing. And after a lot of work, hard work, finally I reached the top. And while coming down, it took so long to come down. I was so shocked that, oh my God, I climbed all of this. And I think life is a bit like that. One has to do it step by step, do little more every day, and one fine day it'll be a lot bigger. And I would like to thank everyone for this opportunity. And I hope that you enjoyed this talk. Thank you so much. Thank you.